Hello and welcome to another Let's Play of Eldfall Chronicles Northern Wind. Before we jump into today's campaign, I noticed that I totally forgot some part of our level up. Basically, the first one, Hero Spawn, is if you do not have any romance synergy cards, which we already have with Sagan and Nara. The last one, Tunnels Beneath the Grove, is if you have the Goblin expansion and not complete the Goblin quest line, you may proceed the quest into the caves and follow the instruction of that quest line. I do not have painted the Goblin expansion set. This is why I didn't want to do that right now. Therefore, I will save this one for my next playthrough. But Spirit of the Grove, we will read that and go a little bit further into this one. For the first time on this grueling expedition, you find true restful sleep. But as you prepare to leave, the spirit appears among you, her voice laced with urgency, her tails flickering. The taint spreadeth and darkness draweth near. The divine descent is upon us, and we must not suffer the red god to break the ancient boundaries and taketh from open this material plane. Mine barrier weakened, and I can no longer forestall the demons and unclean souls. Thou must maketh haste. Your eyes meet hers, and for the first time you glimpse her true form, the former empress, a figure of regal grace and sorrow, her golden eyes filled with unspoken burdens. I shall spend the last of my strength to grant thee time and distance, yet thou must act with all swiftness, for her hands she extends a small lacquered box, inside which rests an ornate circular mirror, its surface shimmering faintly. This mirror is the source of my strength. I have it beheld the divine visage of our radiant majesty, the sun, and holdeth within a fragment of the grace. Guard it well, for its power may yet be thy last hope against the encroaching darkness. Should it shatter, the divine mana within shall sunder the convergence of planes. She steps closer, her glow dim but unwavering. Would that I could offer thee greatest aid, yet mine strength waneth, and the hour groweth late. Go forth now, with all speed, prevent the calamity, and restore the natural order. May the great Reiko no Umikami watch over thee. With these final words she vanished, leaving only faint embers that illuminate your path. They guide you out of the grove and towards the clothed slopes of the split mountains. Rested your equipment repaired and your weapons sharpened, you are ready. The final stretch of your journey lies ahead. So we received the Sun Mirror. We have to advance the time on the Moon Dial by 1 day. We gain full hit points, Aureus, and remove their weak points. So Sagan's 33 weak points are removed. And we do not have Fate X. Therefore, I will just do this. And afterwards, as mentioned earlier, we will start with the quest, the prey, which we draw last time. So, I will prepare that and I'll let you join as soon as I start with the quest. Let's jump into the reading of our quest today. So, walking through the narrow ravine, you notice them, claw marks etched deep into the stone of the towering walls on either side, the grooves impossibly large and jagged. In some places, entire sections of the ravine wall have been violently gouged away, as though a frenzied creature had tried and failed to claw its way to freedom. Checking for any ambushes, shadows seem to move within, the mist surrounding the bamboo. But when you look in every direction, there's nothing but the hollow emptiness of the valley. Then, as you pause to catch your breath, the air steers, the faint sound of movement breaks to silence. You are being pursued. So, and going over here, the quest ends if we are done. This is encounter 1, sorry. Excuse me. But we have to make a weather check. So let's see. First we have Daylight Vitality. Next we have Precarious Ambush. The third we have Freezing Winds. And Dense Haze. Okay, we have 2 weather effects. And I am unsure what it is now. That's the reason why I just grabbed the book here, the rule book. Let's see where it says: event, campaign ending, quests, field map, weather check. If a weather card is revealed, apply the effect immediately. Multiple cards are revealed. Select one to apply. Okay, we are allowed to select, and I absolutely do not take freezing winds. Therefore, the game will start with dense haze. So I will prepare this or two, reshuffle the chaos deck, and then we will jump right into the game. Okay, starting the game, as we can see here immediately at the front, there is an encounter token, but before that, in the strategic phase, Nara will cast Spectral Sight onto herself, unknowing what will come ahead. And with this, Sagan will move one space forward to trigger the token. So let's go up and see what Encounter 1 has for us in store. Either you have no luck or pursuers have set a trap. You have stumbled straight into it. When you took a pursuit, what you took for a pursuit behind was merely an echo. The enemies waiting ahead. In the mist, the sound robs and deceives. Place Intrigue Token 2 on 1 space east of 2. Place Intrigue Token 1 space of south. Roll to die. Apply the lower roll to the hostile chart and the higher roll to the hostile modification. So let's see what we have here. Apply the corresponding results to the quests. Okay. Let's see. I will choose these die, previously used for weak points. We have a 7 and an 18. The lower for the hostiles, so the 7 here and the 18 here. And the 7 means we have 2 Bonewalkers and a Forgotten Hero. Luckily I choose Spectral Sight. And the 18 means all hostiles gain resistance 1. That's also not bad because I usually crush them with Sagan and Nara's attacks. So I will put the hostiles and the encounter and intrigue token down, and then I will continue with the turn. With all the hostiles placed, Sagan will continue with his turn. He will move his second space up to here, and I think Sagan will try to make a dodge into the space, because in this instance the Bonewalkers will react and they will each attack Sagan, and yeah, waste an activation point for this. The Forgotten Hero cannot activate because we have still the hazy weather effect, so no range attacks now attacking through these spaces. With all this, let's see Sagan's attempt to dodge. Even at level 3, he only has an agility of 11. And with a natural 20, Sagan fails to dodge. Both Bonewalkers have a defense of 11 because a friendly undead is within 3 spaces. 12 because 2 friendly undead are each within 3 spaces, so 12 or less. 3 and a 17. So the 17 fails, but the 3 is a hit. The Bonewalker has a power of 10 with his corrosive weapon, or corroded weapon, sorry. And minus Sagan's armor of 6, a 4 is still a wound. And also Sagan gets the poison trait for 1 turn, which means that Sagan is now halved, I think, poison 1. Just read it. He gains the weakened state, as mentioned here, poison 1. And the weakened state means he has half toughness and minus 1 strike. Not good. But it was a gamble. So I will just put the tokens down and then think about what I will do next. Next, I will activate Theros, who will move 1-2. Thanks to Batu, he is allowed to ignore the hazy condition, and he will attack the Forgotten Hero, who will try to dodge. Theros has now Assassination 3, Overwhelming Assault, which would allow him to give him +1 attack. but I think I will still stay with Assassination 1 plus 6 power. So, Theros has only 1 attack, and the Forgotten Hero will try to dodge. Let's roll the dodge attempt. Only half agility because he has no line of sight, thanks to Hazy. But with a 4, agility of 8, as we can see here. If it gets into focus, come on. Here we are. This means that the Forgotten Hero has a successful dodge roll with a 4. Theros needs a critical hit, and with a roll of 5, it would be normal hit, but thankfully the Forgotten Hero dodges and he moves 1 space closer. You might wonder why I did this. I did this just to waste another activation point, and now it's Anari's turn. She will 1-2 go here to Theros. Anari will cast Melting Touch on Theros that he ignores armor, and with Arcane Step Anari can come 1 space further ahead. And now, since she is next to Sagan and does not in Hazy, it is not only it is only allowed to not attack through from outside. So now I read it that you are allowed to cast it in the next year. No range attack through from outside into or against target inside half attack modifier. So since Anari is now next to Sagan, she can cast Cure, which not only cures crippled, poisoned, and weakened states, which Sagan is currently afflicted with, so therefore no longer poisoned or weakened. And I just used the bleeding token I noticed. But since Sagan has Martial Gravitas, whenever he becomes enchanted or are healed by another hero, therefore he's now allowed to attack with 1 strike. The Bone Walkers are not allowed to react because it is Anari's turn, and Sagan will use therefore second chance to gain an additional strike. Now at level 3, Sagan has a defense of 16. Sadly, he's not enchanted, therefore only with an 8, the 18 will miss, but the 12 will hit. With sweep 1, both are hit. He has still toughness of 13, therefore total power of 15, minus the Bone Walker's armor of 2, and incoming melee attacks has -3, therefore the 12 is still a hit. Luckily, because otherwise he would have needed a 13 or less. Still a hit. The first Bone Walker needs a 13 or less. With a 12, it is destroyed. And the other one, 13 or less. And a 5, it is also destroyed. This was Sagan's. This was Anari's 2 turn. Since Theros is ignoring armor, Theros will use now his Overwhelming Assault to gain 2 strikes against the Forgotten Hero's dodge. Forgotten Hero, activation point spent, tries to dodge with an 11, that's not enough. Theros has now accuracy 15 plus the 3 for the Thenian crossbow within 10 spaces. Therefore, he needs a total of 18 or less. 19 and 20. The 19 is a miss. Now 20, 12, sorry. The 12 hits, ignoring armor, power 13. And another 19. Therefore, nothing happens. That was Theros' second turn. Now it's Nara. 1, 2, 3. She will go up here. And she will cast us Necrotic Wounds to gain Cleave and Poison 2 onto herself. And now she will activate, going 1, 2, jumping the Intrigue token to get into contact with the Forgotten Hero. Therefore she has 2 strikes normally because of her claws and reinforced claws. Now, since the Forgotten Hero is out of activation points, she will get a 3rd die. Now she has an offense of 16. Sadly, she's not in the same. She's not engaged with the same enemy as Sagan, so no Lover's Bond enchantment. But 16 or less, 2, 7, and 6. These are 3 hits. She has a power of 13. +2 for her reinforced claws, therefore 15 or less, minus armor 6. This is 9 or less to wound. It's a 5, a 2, and a 6, and thankfully she has now cleave. Therefore, 1 wound and a second wound for the Forgotten Hero to go down. And Nara has hit and retreat. And with this, she will walk 1-2 spaces back to Sagan to keep the party together. No hostiles are currently on the field. Let's see what the Chaos deck says. Hostile recovery, 2 highest tier hostiles recover 1 HP each, and it is reshuffled into the deck. I will shuffle the deck before I continue with the hero's turn. Okay, the next hero's turn. Nara will once again cast Spectral Sight onto herself. And I will start this turn with Theros, who will go 1, 2, 3 and use an action to activate the Intrigue token. So let's see what happens here. Intrigue token. Intrigue 1. You came across a mangled corpse of an ogre. Its massive form crumbled in a grotesque heap. Deep bite marks scar the flesh as though something enormous had gnawed at it. You may immediately look at the top card of the Path deck. I have no idea what the Path deck is. I assume it's the Chaos deck. It could also be the Event deck, but since we're only in a quest, I assume it is the Chaos deck. And for this, since there's stood may, I will not use this option to just be safe. Or play it as intended, quotation marks. Yeah, I will not do that simply. With this, let's continue. Anari 1-2, casting Melting Touch on Sagan. So that Sagan is enchanted and ignores armor. Anari goes down here for Arcane Step. Nara will go 1, 2, 3 up to here. And to activate each hero once, Sagan has the honor to 1, 2, 3, 4 to run into Encounter 2. And let's see what we will have here for Encounter 2. Your path is blocked by a makeshift barricade hastily constructed only hours ago. Waiting your options, you must decide whether to stand your ground or attempt a desperate escape. Roll a die. Done, it's a 10. And apply the result to the hostile chart. Forgotten Hero on 3 and an Ornament Marauder on entrance. Place an obstacle. As long as it is present, the model it cannot leave the field through the exit. Okay. And roll a die on a 17 to 20. Read secret lock. So let's see. It's a 4, therefore no secret lock. I will place the Forgotten Hero on the Ornament Marauder before I will go back to my heroes and continue their turn. And I'll let you join as soon as I'm done with this. I have placed the Ornament Marauder and the Forgotten Hero and have thought about what I want to do. And I think I want to make way to get the opponents here in the heavy cover area. So I will start with Nara because she has the Scouting Ahead synergy card, and I just noticed that I forgot to place here the synergy card for this quest. But that doesn't matter right now. So Nara will move a few spaces, trying to make an agility roll or an intelligence check. Intelligence 14 now and agility 13, but 1 reroll. So I will, to ignore the space, the hazard, environment condition, that's the word. So starting here, agility check because it is rerollable. 10 it's fine, second space, agility, 3 is fine, third space, 5 is fine, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Nara can only walk 4 spaces, therefore Nara will stay here. Theros 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goes up to here. Anari 1, 2, 3, 4 runs to here. And Sagan walks up to here. So this was my hero's turn. Let's see what the hostile draw. We are, despite putting the The moon dial one space ahead, we are still at day. Highest Yosta on the field suffers the confused state until next strategic phase, which is the Oni Marauder with the tier of 3. So, despite this, the Oni Marauder activates first as it is in his special. And since he is engaged with an enemy, line of sight is not the case. Rotate, if line of sight, walk towards the enemy. So basically, this Oni Marauder would just rotate, stay here. And the Forgotten Hero has no line of sight. Sorry, we have to look at its active row. Other walk, stop if line of sight. Since he is in elevation, he has to use a jump or climb ability. He will climb up. 1, 2. And then he will walk 1, 2. Since it's still hazy, he cannot attack through the space. And therefore, its turn will end here. Yeah, as I said, the Oni Marauder is a little bit boring right now. Therefore, I will overrule it. And since this is a prey scenario, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, I will say that it runs up to here, because I find this more entertaining. Now, our heroes. I will use Nara's strategic phase to cast Necrotic Wounds onto herself and then put down the activation points next to the Oni Marauder. Here we are. And I'll start with the Necrotic Wounds for additional damage. If Theros attacks, the Oni Marauder can only walk one space, which would be this one, which is full of heroes, where the Oni Marauder cannot walk into. So it would have to stay where it is. I will do it a little bit different. Theros will use his consumable item Firecrackers to attack the Oni Marauder, who will try to dodge. So, Theros needing a 15 or less. This is a 9, it is a hit. The Oni Marauder has an agility of 8. It's a 4, this is a successful dodge. And normally it would go into the space, but it cannot do that. Therefore it will stay where it is. Next, Theros will attack again, using Assassination 1 to gain an additional power boost. With a natural 1, he also ignores armor, and a 19 is a failed dodge, so 19 or less. This one is a 9, and the Oni Marauder gains 1 wound and is out of activation points. This will be used, Anari will use that to her advantage, that the Oni Marauder is out of activation points. She will use Melting Touch on Sagan to get 1 space back. Then she will use Melting Touch on Nara. And I'll start with Nara going up to here, attacking the Oni Marauder. 2 strikes usually, because of a clause, a 3rd strike. We have an 11, a 5, and a 6. Therefore we have 3 hits. Power 15, ignoring armor. 15, 1, and 8. These are 3 wounds. And the burn quality puts 2 additional wounds with a 2, a 9, and a 16 onto the Oni Marauder. And with this, the Oni Marauder is absolutely obliterated. Nara goes 1 space back. And Sagan is also enchanted. I had waited with the enchantment for Sagan, but now it's too late. And yeah, Sagan moves 1, 2 spaces with his activation and attacks the Forgotten Hero, who in return strikes back. Sagan has 2 strikes, the Forgotten Hero 1 because of its reactive role, and Sagan will reduce the defense by 3 because of Masterful Parry. Heavy Cover makes -4 to range attacks. Since we are in close combat, it does not apply. The Forgotten Hero -3 has a defense of 11. It is a 2. Sagan, offense 16, enchanted, so therefore +3, it's 19 or less. 11 and 18, both win the confrontation against the 2. Power of 15, ignoring armor. 14 and 18, therefore 1 wound. And now the burn with a natural 1 is enough to destroy the Forgotten Hero. This is basically the end phase. Sagan will go 2 spaces back for his Ranger class. Now let's see. Dire Ambush, 2 spaces away from the lowest numbered encounter on the field, towards the entrance, if no encounters are behind the last hero. So, 1 space behind the last hero is here. And the Oni Marauder is allowed to immediately attack. Sagan will use a dodge, Nara will wait because of her foresight. Or let's roll before that, which one the Oni Marauder will attack. 1 to 10 it's Nara. He will attack Nara. Nara will wait, Sagan will dodge because of the sweep. Let's see what these rolls will do. Sagan dodging, with a 3 he dodges successfully. Nara dodging, with a 17 it is not successful. Let's see what the Oni Marauder's attack does. 2 and a 9, these are 2 hits. And 5 and 3. These are definitely 2 wounds onto Nara. Luckily, she has 3 wounds by now, but she's staggered, therefore out of activation point, and Sagan uses it to get into the same space as the Oni Marauder. And now, let's see who the Oni Marauder attacks, Sagan or Nara. He will attack, Sagan, I said him first, otherwise Sagan would have used this protector and beat the target anyway. So the Oni Marauder has 2 strikes. Sagan also has 2 strikes, and he will reduce the Oni Marauder's offense by 3. Therefore, the Oni Marauder also has only an offense of 11. 5 and 12. The 12 is a miss. Sagan has 19 or less. 20 and a 2. Sagan loses this confrontation. The Oni Marauder hits, and with a 10, Sagan has an armor of 6. The Oni Marauder has a power of 13. Sagan gets a 2nd wound. So, Nara and Sagan have 2 wounds each. And that was the hostile's turn. Now it's the hero's turn. Nara casts Leech Life onto herself. And she's engaged with the same opponent as Sagan. It will start with Anari, casting Melting Touch on Nara, so that she has a total offense of 19 now, since she's engaged with the same as opponent as Sagan. This is because of Pana, but can ignore armor. Nara will attack with a claws, and the Oni Marauder will defend. Oni Marauder defense only of 10. It's a 12, therefore it failed to hit. Nara, 19 or less. 19 and 9, 2 hits. Power of 15, ignoring armor. 6 and 4, these are 2 wounds because of Leech Life. She will regain 2 hit points and is therefore restored to her full hit points. And the burn quality, 14 and 17, these are 3 wounds in total on the Oni Marauder. It has 4 hit points, and Nara can use hit and retreat to move away. Will she do so is the question. I think she will not do that. Theros will attack the Oni Marauder, and he will use his sniper ability. The Oni Marauder will try to dodge this attack too. With a 14 it fails. Theros 18 or less to hit. With a 3 it's a hit. And with a 9 this is also a wound, because power of 19 minus armor 3 is 16 or less. The Oni Marauder is down. Now activated 1, activated 1, activated 1, activated not at all. So Sagan will use a run action. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I just noticed that here is difficult terrain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sagan goes up to here. Now, luckily, Theros has survival difficult, so he can ignore it. Next, Sagan goes up to here and attacks the barrier. Armor 4 and 6 hit points. Sagan will use second wind to gain a third attack. He's enchanted, power 19. Not power. Offense 19, 2, 3, and a 7. A 17, these are 3 hits. Power 15 minus armor 6, 6 or less. 8, this was an 18, 8, 18, and a 9. Therefore, no wounds from this one. Wait a second, power 15 minus armor 6, sorry. 9 or less, these... I totally mixed up the stats, sorry for that. Armor 4 and hit points 6 this way around. So therefore 2 wounds from Sagan. Now Nara's turn, 1, 2, 3, going up to here. She attacks the obstruction without any activation points. Or what does the clause say? Attacking a target, yeah, not hostile, so 19 or less. The one ignoring armor, the other 2 are normal hits, minus 4, it's 11 or less. 1 hit plus cleave, it's 2 wounds. Ignoring armor, doesn't matter with the 17, so 4 wounds already done. And Nari casts Arcane Step, not Arcane Step, she casts Melting Touch on Sagan, goes up to here, so Sagan is allowed to make a strike 1 attack, using second wind to gain another attack. 14 and 16, 2 hits. 14 is a wound, 17 not, but the burn quality, 14, this is enough to destroy the obstacle. And Theros goes into the same space as the heroes. Let's see what happens here. Onslaught, spawn 1 tier 1, 3 hostile, 1 space behind the last hero, okay. Back he is, and he has +3 power for this hostile's turn. Okay, let's see what happens here. The Oni Marauder will attack. Who will attack? 1 to 5 and then clockwise. It's a Nari. And what will happen? I think this one, all of my heroes will try to dodge. So, Nari is white, Sagan is red, Theros is violet, and Nara is turquoise? I don't know. The green one, greenish one. The 7, Nari has an agility of 12, F13, it's successful. This die is really not good to show on camera. Theros with a 12 is fine, Sagan with a 7 is fine, and Nara with a 12 is fine. Okay. The Oni Marauder, 14 or less, 19 and 3. The 3 would normally hit, but all of my heroes dodge it. So now these 2 go here. And Nara and Sagan jump right into the space of the Oni Marauder. So, now the Oni Marauder's second turn. Will he attack Nara or Sagan? 1 to 10 Nara. He will attack Nara. Sagan will use his Protector skill. Nara will wait what will happen. Sagan will attack with only 2 die to reduce the offense of the Oni Marauder down to 11. 17 and a 4. Yeah, so the 4 is a hit. Sagan 19 or less because he also has a defense of 16. The 9 he rolled beats out the 4, but the 4 beats out the 3. Sagan wins this confrontation. Ignoring armor, this is the first wound of 15 or less. The burn does nothing, and Nara will use it to attack. Since the Oni Marauder had 2 strikes, had activation points, I will only do 1 strike in general because it's a reactive roll. 19 or less, it's a 4. And 15 or less, it's an 8. She also ignoring armor. Burn, this is another one. So the Oni Marauder has already 3 wounds. Now it's the hero's turn. The hero's turn will start with Anari, with Anari, who will cast Melting Touch onto Sagan. Since it's Anari's turn, the Oni Marauder is not affected. He is not allowed to react, but Anari will use Arcane Step to go here. now getting into reach of the Oni Marauder, but he wasn't allowed to activate. Sagan gets 1 strike, second wind to get a second one. He's enchanted, therefore 19 or less. He's ignoring armor. Natural 1 and 17. The natural 1 is a wound, and the burn with 3 definitely is enough to put this Oni Marauder down to. Yeah, with all that, Anari is still able to activate. She will leave the field, Theros will leave the field, Nara will leave the field, and Sagan will leave the field. Okay, with all this done, let's see what the ending is. The thick fog muffles all sound, blurring the shapes around you. It feels as though the valley could erase who you are, dissolving your identity. So, I think I'll just continue with my quest. Before doing that, I will just clean up the board. And since this was the first of the events, I will just grab it and let me rotate it a little bit. Here we just left the Sacred Grove. We will continue with the second event card before going to the Hanging Valley Shrine. So, as I said, I will clean up the board and then I will let you join for the second event card. Quick correction, I noticed Sagan still has 2 wounds. Nara will, before she leaves, will cast Second Chance to heal him. 20 and 6, he heals 1 wound. And then Theros will use his activation, walk into the same space as, actually now, because then he would waste maybe one of these. Nara will cast another second chance, 7 and 13. Therefore Sagan is healed. The heroes will stay where they are. Freezing winds. Okay, let me just correct it. The heroes are still here. And now let's roll some dice. I just have to grab a few, sorry for that. Sagan is healed. Corresponding color for the heroes. And yeah, let's roll it. 14 is fine, 5 is fine, 7 is fine, 20 is not. With a 10, she is not wounded. And since she did not regain any activation points, she's not unconscious. The heroes will stay where they are. It's the... sorry. It doesn't affect because we have Dense Haze. Therefore, it doesn't matter at all. After Sagan is healed in the second round, the heroes will leave the field, and now I can clean up the board with Sagan also fully healed for the next quest. So, now I will join you for the next event card. Before we continue with the next quest, let's move the moon dial down to dusk. And as you can see here, Sacred Grove, we just have overcome the Prey quest, and now our second event card is Haunted Road. A crumbling stone road vanishes into the mist as it winds through the narrow gorge. An eerie silence fills the air, raising the hair on your neck. We can start the Haunted Road quest or advance time by 3. So we will still not arrive at the Hanging Valley Shrine. We will play the Haunted Road quest next. So, until then, have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play, and goodbye.